Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show, that's where I go for the latest planned info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio show. The All Around Town Radio.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program today. It is a Monday, and we are here on Monday, February the 6th, 2023, to bring you our weekend update. And thank you to those of you who out there shared your weekend update with us on our page. Not as many this week, but we had a few. But wait till I give you the numbers on some other stuff. You guys are going to be amazed by this. You really are. And it's all because of you guys. Sharing is caring, man. It is. What's going on, Glenn? Checking in on the YouTube channel. Mike from the Whammies in the house. We're going to be talking about them today. Rob Paisley, how are you? Checking in on YouTube as well. Jimmy Kilroy is here. Bill is with us today. Good afternoon to y'all. Thanks for dropping by. Hi, Robert. Thanks for being here. If you're out there, guys, say hey. Ray Renee in the house, taking a break from work. How you doing, Ray? Good to have you with us. Mrs. All Around Town has joined the party today. Thank you for being here, Liz. Hollywood in the house from Pullman Lane, Scott's Bar and Grill down in Hamilton, Ohio, on the west side of Hamilton. Yes. What's going on, people? How you doing? How was your weekend? Was everybody's weekend good? Our friends from Ladder are in the house. We're going to talk about them as well. We had a hell of a weekend of music, man. We did. It was crazy good. Crazy good. There's Jim from Ladder. Good to have you with us, Jim. Thanks for being here. Rick and Trina in the house. I think they took in a Don't Tell Steve show, I bet, over the weekend. So, yeah, good stuff going on in music all over the tri-state this weekend. And we've got a lot coming up this week. This is a huge week for All Around Town Radio, let me tell you. And I'll give you a little heads up on some of that real quick before we start our weekend update as people are joining us live here. This week, of course, tomorrow, the lovely Karis. My co-hosts, Karis and Scott, doing the Hot Topic Tuesday thing. That's going on. Then I've got trivia at Mr. Burroughs Tavern. Wednesday at noon, I've got the Cincinnati Blues Experience folks on live with us talking about their big event coming up February 11th. And I'll be at the Bell and the Bear that night for Name That Tune trivia at 7 o'clock. And then Thursday, I'll be back to the Bell and the Bear on Thursday to kick off Autism Rocks 14. It's the 10-day kickoff until the big event on February 19th. Going to be a host of celebrities at the Bell that night. I'll be there hosting live at 5 from there and also chatting it up throughout the evening about Autism Rocks in between the acts on the Bell and the Bears Jam Thursday. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. Yes. Ray Renee said a great weekend of live music. I'm going to see who's checking in with me here before we get started. James said it was interesting. He'll just say, okay, you'll have to tell me sometime. Yes. Mike said, great to meet Mrs. All Around Town on Friday night. It was great to meet you there, Mike. And I'd met you before, but certainly to see you in your element, man. And we're going to talk about you guys. We were wowed by your band for sure. Quentin in the house. He's from Ladder as well. What's going on, Rob? How are you? You doing all right? I think so. So let me see here what I got going. And certainly, Rob is also from Ladder, by the way, in case you didn't know that, people. And remember, when I say Ladder today, that is Latter. And yes, Latter, not D with a D. Steve Stein in the house from the Times. Hi, Donnie Rose. Thank you for being here. Good to have you with us. Gary, he's rocking from the Simmons Sanctuary. Carrie's in the house. Saw him Friday night taking pictures for the Whammies. So let's roll it on up, guys. Let's talk about what we did this week in music. And if you saw somebody play over the weekend and you did not get it on our post that we posted Sunday, please drop it in there in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you saw somebody play over the weekend, make sure you mention the venue as well. That would be nice. And yes, it was great to meet you too, Quentin. And man, another band that wowed. I mean, we just shook our head on Sunday saying, what a weekend of music. It was so good. And we're going to talk about all of it. So let's get rolling into that. First and foremost, guys, I want to say Thursday's show, where we mentioned who's playing out and all that good stuff, brought to you by Froggies in Monroe, brought a whopping this week 6,355 views on that one. So thank you for sharing that. It's all about the shares. When you share it, people see it and view it. So 6,355 views is a great one for us on that particular show. But catch this stat here. This is an amazing stat. I got my Book of Faith 30-day update. We had 2.1 million interactions on our page in the last 30 days. Part of that is in part by the post that we did that asked what the first band was you ever saw in concert. That one went completely bonkers. It's still getting comments. Over 8,000 comments on it. Over, I think, 100,000 interactions on it right now. But yeah, 2.1 million over 30 days. And the other part of that is my co-host Karis, who can be a little vocal at times and draws a great audience. So we love her. And she's much more vocal than I am most times about topics. So tune in tomorrow at 5 and find out what kind of mood she's in. It could be fun. It could. Kim says, love some whammies. Robert says, Crown Watts Rock Fretboard. There you go. Love Crown Watts. They're going to be playing Autism Rocks. And Steve said, Sunday Fun Day at Good Time Charlie's was good with Mike and Tiff. Thank you for that, Steve. Marie, how are you? Good to see you. Christopher Kitchell in the house. Yeah, we're getting some good views, man. We're glad to hear that. Thanks, Christopher. By the way, in case you wanted to know today, just a little tidbit of useless information I throw at you every day. Today is National Frozen Yogurt Day. Just in case you needed to know that. So grab yourself some frozen yogurt. That's all I got to say about that. All right. What do we got? Ray Renee said she saw two bands Saturday. Hi-Fi Honey at the Pirates Den, then Crambone at Jocko's in Delhi. Thank you, Ray. Love some Jessica and Hi-Fi Honey. I do. I've never seen the other one, but I love Hi-Fi Honey. All right, so let's go back to Wednesday before our show last week. We mentioned it on the Thursday show for briefly, but I got a chance to see Heath and Tessa, which is also known as Beauty and the Beast. They were playing at O'Leary's Pub in Centerville. They are a harmonic blend together, man. They get great crowd interaction, great vibe playing off each other, the two of them, and a really good variety of songs that appealed to the folks there. The crowd was having a great time. Again, super crowd interaction in that bar. And it's a music bar. People like music in there when they have it. And so really cool stuff. And it hasn't been a music bar for many, 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 many years. So they just kind of started that. And I think people are really digging the vibe there at O'Leary's. And Heath and Tessa did a remarkable job. As always, Tessa's such a sweetheart. And Heath is a lovable little chubby guy, as he likes to say, but he's really changed his style a whole bunch. And since he's joined Route 88, he's doing some great music with them and doing his solo gigs and playing a lot of variety of songs. And Tessa had added a whole bunch to her set list as well. And they did some duets and so on. So it was a great time there on Wednesday at O'Leary's. So that's all I got to say about that. Thursday night, want to real quick hit the Bell and the Bear Jam where we were. Bell and the Bear Jam on Thursday. Hats off again to Kevin Cooper, Jim Cuesta, Jamie Combs, Travis Hanna, Kathy Laverde, Rick Dews on the bass, Charles Moreno on the bass, Ray Renee doing some great vocals, TJ blowing the roof off the place too, killing in the name, Rage Against the Machine, TJ, channeling his inner Miss Jackie. Yeah, we had a great time that night, and just a super fun group that comes into the Bell and the Bear Jam. We've beat it to death on here. I've talked about it so much, but just get there. Had a couple of friends show up that night. Brian Scott from, he was there from Saints Among Us. Richard Lipscomb was there. He's a sound guy around town. He was there sitting with us. We had a great time and enjoyed that a whole lot. And really a fun night at the Bell. Not as big as the week before with the Van Halen tribute and all that, but still, it was great. It was. Let's see what Hollywood has to say here real quick before we move on to our next act from Thursday. And Ray, thank you for wowing us with your vocals several times that night. And Mark and Rob from the Dunby 4 Friday at Hamilton's Urban Backyard, he got to see. Hollywood did. The Newbies Saturday, Fenton Showstoppers. The Newbies present Super Sounds of the 70s in Hamilton. All right. Hollywood's a great music supporter and the first recipient of our Hall of Fame of local music. So there he is. Good to have you with us, my friend. All right. I'm not going to dwell on the Bell. You guys have been there. Most of you know what it's all about. If you haven't been there, shame on you. Shame on you. I won't tell Karis because she gets pissy about that stuff. She does. All right. Let's move on. Friday night. Made a triumphant return to Rick's Tavern. Hadn't been to Rick's in a long time. A little backstory on that, but hadn't been to Rick's in a very long time. And wow. And, Doug and Catherine, I think, or Kathleen, that were there before, were very nice to us and good people. But some other issues there that they had and out of their control, obviously. The new ownership seems to be doing great things at Rick's. The manager, I believe his name was Jeff, couldn't have been any nicer. We came in, I guess, about band maybe 7:30-ish, and the place was jam full. There was one table in the very back corner of their very back room that had hardly view of the band. And we rolled back there, sat down, expecting to have dinner and just listened to the music from there. And unfortunately, the Whammies is a very visual band, and I'm glad that this manager, who, again, I believe his name was Jeff. I didn't catch it, but I think that was it. Found us an open table. Somebody left. He got us moved up to where we could see the band, or we were on the other side of the bar than from the band. But yeah, Rick's. Our server, Chelsea, 5 stars. She's been there, I guess, for 5 years. I've never seen her there. She wasn't the server we'd had in the past. But I will say that Chelsea was top shelf service. And she even moved with us. When we moved out of her section, she moved with us to the other side and had to run across the entire place to take care of us. And she took great care of us. Came back and checked on us 3 or 4 times. Just an outstanding environment there at Rick's Tavern. And man, were they packed. And Chris Barr says, Jeff is a great guy. Dan and Ryan are turning Rick's around. Yeah, I was very impressed with it. And, it's always been a good music venue. We were there St. Patty's Day 2 years ago. It was off the hook crazy. But yeah, hi, Gina McCann. How are you? The lovely Gina McCann. Let me throw that up there, Diane. I'll throw it in. I don't have time to read it to people, but we'll put it in the comments. And I'm sorry. Let me leave Diana's comment up there, and then I'll get to Glenn's and such. And Mike says Pete Butts is the manager. But let me chat about the Whammies for a minute. All right. Can I chat about the Whammies? And then maybe I'll answer this potential spam call that I'm getting right here during the show. No, we're not going to do that. Bye. All right. So if you heard something buzzing, that's what it was. And Heidi says, Rick, yeah, I got to see Heidi there. We'll talk about that too, for sure here in a minute. But let me talk about the Whammies. What can I say about the Whammies except awesome? I mean, that sums it up, people. Awesome, outstanding, energetic, musical mayhem on stage, as we say about the Bells sometimes. Really crazy band. And as someone who lived through the MTV era, it was so damn fun and entertaining to see this band. The band played those songs perfectly. And Mike, you are a stellar front man. I've got to say that, who had the crowd feeding out of your hand the entire night there with your awesome vocals and stage style. And man, the dance floor was never empty, insanely packed and crowded. I tried to get up and get some pictures. You'll notice some of my pictures as the evening progressed got more and more distant because I couldn't even get across the dance floor to get up close to the band. This night was fun, people. And if you haven't seen the Whammies yet, go see them. Absolutely fantastic night of music. Joe Muncie is the drummer. Jeff Abbott on guitar. Keyboardist is Eric Johnson. And bassist is Pete. We're going to call him Pete Bedrock. Pete Bedrock. And something I will tell you, it was Pete's first night playing with the band out. He had a month to learn their set of music, and you'd have never known it. Never in a million years would anybody in the room have known. If I didn't know that was the case, yeah, Pete, unbelievable. Sound guy was Jason Potter, and of course, Mike. He's the front guy. He's the dynamic guy out front, but the rest of the band has great vibes, and they play those songs as well. And they're really animated, and they're tossing out blinking lights to people. And the crowd, they're all dressed in 80s attire. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people there dressed in, it's like going back to, your 80s prom type thing. It was so much fun and so good. Let me see what some of the comments are, and I'll get back to a couple of things on that. Yes, heavenly birthday to Bob Marley and Natalie Cole. Thank you for that. And yes, Axl Rose is 61 today. How he's made that many birthdays, who knows? Who knows? Yes. Yeah, Dewey. Rick's big things going on there, I'm telling you. And they're doing a good job of what I saw. The staff was hustling. They were friendly. The crowd was nice. And, they were having a good time. And I will tell you, some people got, I could hear it at the front door, the $7 cover charge per person coming in the door. And then you go in and drink and eat. So it's not going to be a cheap night for you. But I will tell you that the $7 cover charge, I'd have paid $10. I'd have paid $20 to see the Whammies. So, you got to get over the cover charge thing. Somehow these bars got to pay for the bands, people, and the band's got to make a little money. So, we've talked about that on Top 5 or Hot Topic Tuesday. And it's a sticky point with some people. If you don't want to pay a cover charge, go somewhere else, go sit in that bar with 6 people at the bar and be done with it. And there are some bars that don't believe in cover charges, and rightfully so. I mean, but I think the cover charge thing pays for the band. And if it goes to the band and doesn't become a huge profitary item for the venue, then it's probably a good thing. It is. What else we got here? Heidi. Yes. She said, Rick's, and I got to see Heidi, Marianne, got to see a bunch of people there, friends from the Bell and the Bear and so on. And it was really a quality time. It was. And Mike, you killed it, my friend. I just watched you. I watched you interact with the crowd too on the breaks, and your band did. You guys are rock stars. You really are. And I love your music. I mean, that's my era, and I love it. And it's just fantastic. So if you're a child of the 80s, people, or just want to enjoy one of Cincy's best party bands, I'm going to tell you, check out the Whammies, follow their page, and their logo, by the way, the upside down M from MTV for W for Whammies is so creative, and everybody wearing their shirts, things like that. It's good stuff. And Mike, thank you. Kim says Whammies are always fun. She's been following them for 5 years. I'd seen Mike down at the Bell and the Bear, but I've never seen the entire Whammy show. And you can bet your butt I'll be at another one, because that's good stuff. And Glenn says, big show there at Rick's next Saturday. You keeping me in suspense? Glenn, or are you going to tell me what the big show is? Is it Don't Tell Steve, probably? I would bet. Did I think that one out loud? Dewey says 7 isn't bad, especially when it goes in the band spot. Yeah, I mean, he's got to pay the band. And these bands need to make a little money. They got a lot of equipment. The Whammies had a lot of equipment. They did. And Donnie throwing in their controversy for breakfast at Brightside Thursday. Yeah, we're going to mention that one on the Thursday show in the Battle of the Band. It says play at 7:30 that night. All right. Down at the Brightside in Dayton having a big Battle of the Bands competition. And, Diana, one thing I did that night, normally I write down the set list, and I was having so much fun with these songs that I didn't. So, Mike, if you're out there, throw a few songs in there that you do throughout the night so Diana has an idea of what you play, because I can't, off the top of my head, I'll screw it up, but throw it in there, if you will. And certainly, guys, I will tell you, Friday night was a stellar night, fun night at Rick's. Rick's about 30 minutes from our house, and it was cool. It was a cool thing to do, and I'm glad we popped in there. Good to hang with you on Thursday too, Jim McCarthy. It was good to see you out, my friend. Hope to see you maybe this Wednesday for trivia at Bell of the Bear. There's Kara. She says she wants to go see him. Yeah, absolutely. Have fun at Adam Sandler, Kara, and you do have to see this band. You would love this band, I'm telling you. You would love this band. And Terry says, Whammies are great lightning. They are. What's going on, Rooster Fries? There's Bill's lineup from this week and who he got to see. Man, you got to see some great people. Thank you for that. And let me leave that up for Bill just a minute. We're going to get into our Saturday night with Ladder here in just a moment too, guys. So stick around with us if you want to hear about another band that was just rocking the roof off the place. What's Chris saying? Chris said they didn't try to blow the roof off like some bands didn't. Sound was, I thought the same thing, Chris. I thought the exact same thing. It wasn't overpowering sound. I've been in there, and I was in there on St. Patty's Day one time with Naked Karate Girls, and I mean, it would have parted your hair. The sound was so loud. But yeah, it's certainly good stuff. And the Whammies, they had the crowd feeding out of their hand, like I said. And he says, new wave pop to big hair stuff. Yes. What'd Diana do? Gave you the cutest little stuffed hen. That's nice of her. She's such a sweetheart. She is. And Carrie says, B-52's Love Shack, Duran Duran. Yeah, Flock of Seagulls. I mean, you go down the whole MTV playlist and the Whammies were doing it. And that was good stuff. It was. All right, I got to keep rolling, though. Saturday night. Let me hit up my Saturday night because I know I got some boys here from Ladder on with us. Now, Quentin's been on here forever. He's been coming on. He's been sending his gigs to me. And I just happened to see, as I did the list on Thursday, and read that list that, hey, they're playing the Phone Booth Lounge. And I already had committed to be at Mr. Burroughs Tavern for some friends missing November who were going to be there. So I thought, well, we'll do double duty. And Mrs. Hall around town was into that. So we rolled over, had literally rolled over after we had dinner at a place called Jimmy's Italian Kitchen in Kettering, which is some of the finest Italian food you'll ever eat on the face of the planet. By the way, it's in an old Taco Bell, if you can believe that. But it is a superior restaurant. And we got a chance to have dinner at Jimmy's and then boogie over to the Phone Booth Lounge in Kettering, the heart of Kettering, Ohio, and see the group Ladder, L-A-T-T-E-R. For my Cincinnati friends, now they're a northern band. That's the furthest south they've ever come, and they really need to go further south. It's a drive for them, though. Some of them drove, almost an hour to be there. But let me talk about Ladder. And, I will say I've had some off and on experiences at the Phone Booth Lounge. I have to say that. One night we were in there for a party punch. They were extremely crowded. It was 30 minutes to get a beer at the bar in a line and those kind of things. And you could tell they were short staffed. And, that happens sometimes and all that. But the phone booth this night started out a little slow on the people and then was starting to build as we obviously had to leave to go somewhere else. But this was night 2 of some amazing talent in our lives this weekend. And so we did pop 80s kind of on Friday and then got our 80s rock on Saturday. Rob Carpenter on drums, Jim Graham on vocals, Tim Hart on the bass, Quentin Fife on guitar make up the band Ladder. And let me say, you know, some of those 80s metal songs, and as we like to refer to them, and keep the comments coming, people. We want to hear from you today. Get those comments rolling in here. If you know Ladder too, make some comments about them. But you know, those 80s vocals can be very tough. When you're singing, you know, the Skid Rows and Van Halen's and all those things, you're going to have certainly some tough times on the vocals. And I will say, Jim Graham got it dialed in on the first song, and he brought the vocals like unbelievable. I was blown away by his vocal ability and his stage presence, man. He's everywhere. He's all over the stage, rocking it out for sure. Hi, Gary. Thanks for joining us today. If you're out there, guys, please make some comments. We'd love to hear from you about these bands we're talking about today on our weekend update. Let me say, God, man, these people it's spam day on the phone today. All right. Hello, Dirk Turner, if that's you from Crying Out Loud, or Stephanie, or whoever that might be. Good to have you. And Rob says about an hour and 40 minutes for him to get there. Wow. Well, Rob, I'm glad you did, man, because let me tell you, you guys smoked it at the phone booth. And like I said, Jim's vocals blew me away. The band is so solid, timing perfect, sound is good. And yeah, and Dewey, you're right, man. It's just those 80s vocals are tough. And yeah, except for Sammy, he's not human. Well, there's a lot of 80s people, you know, if you look at Slaughter, you look at, White Lion, some of those, just the amazing vocals that come at you. Let me talk about some of the songs they did here. I got to see their first set, and Quentin told me later the first set was probably their weakest set. And I was like, if that's weak, I want to see strong, because this first set was a powerhouse set of music. Rock Me was the first song. Final Countdown by Europe. And, you know, you don't sing Jack Russell either, like without a voice. Billy Squire, Dokken, Night Ranger, Rockin' in America. Quentin slayed the guitar solo on that. Oh my God, just crazy stuff. What else did we have? Whitesnake, Van Halen, Poison, AC/DC, Queensryche, Eyes of a Stranger. I mean, that was just the first set, people. If you like that kind of 80s, and I hate the term hair bands, but that's what everybody refers to them as. You know, spandex and hair, man. If you like that stuff, you're going to love Ladder. I love this band. What we got to hear of them. We got to only hear their first set, and we wanted to stay for more. And if it wouldn't have been for offending some folks we told would be somewhere, we probably would have. But we're going to catch another one of their shows for sure. But that is just, I mean, unskinny bop. For those about the rock, we salute you. I mean, and then you ice the cake with Rob Jeremy on sound, who had this stuff dialed in like you wouldn't believe. I mean, the sound was CD quality, great music. And Rob's a wonderful sound man. He does a great job. And Rob is also the guitarist in Route 88, in case anybody didn't know what his name was. So, yeah, I mean, you think about those songs, and Jim, you're most welcome, man. When you can hit those high notes in a Whitesnake song or Dokken, you know, man, you killed it. And when you came out of the chute with Rock Me, I was like, okay. And I don't know you guys from anything, you know, and I always say in my mind, this is either going to be good, or starting with that song is going to be a train wreck. And it wasn't a train wreck, man. It was good. It was fantastic. So I really enjoyed it and had a great time. So guys, please go follow Ladder, Latter, like their page, follow where they're playing. If they come somewhere near you, get out and see one of their shows. Dewey, this show would be right in your wheelhouse, man. You would like it as well. And Quentin says they're working on their way south. And Quentin had some killer guitars, including his Van Halen signature guitar that night that looked so good. And man, that new guitar you're playing sounds sweet. Is that a Kramer? I think. Good stuff. And yeah, Ladder, just fantastic band, guys. And we were so blessed this weekend with music between the Whammies and Ladder, and the Bell Jam Thursday. Then we had one more stop on Saturday night I want to mention real quick. And we've talked about these guys before, so I won't dwell on them too much. But Mr. Burroughs Tavern, our friends from Missing November, they drive all the way up from Chillicothe area, Hillsboro. And Heidi and Bobby and company there had the crowd rocking as well. And you can't go anywhere, I don't think, and hear a female lead singer sing AC/DC's Big Balls. And she does it, and does it so well and so funny. So, yeah, hats off to Heidi and Bobby. And Mr. Burroughs had a rocking crowd going there. Burroughs is a smaller venue. It only holds 100 people. And, Halcom Lighting and Sound was doing their lights and sound that night, did a great job of dialing them in. And we had fun with them ending up the night. So our friends from Chillicothe up as well. And Jim says he's blessed to play with those guys. You sure are, my friend. That's a tight band behind you. And that makes it easier on you as a singer. And you wowed me, my friend. Wowed me with your voice. So, and those are songs you always go somewhere, and any band that plays those 80s tunes like that, especially the 80s metal, and you'll sit there and think, okay, we're coming to the point. If he hits this high note, he's got it. And many of them don't hit it. And man, I'm telling you, Jim, you hit every single one of them. So fantastic night, fantastic weekend. Phone Booth Lounge in Kettering has a lot of good live music as well. Big room, good size stage, good acoustics in there. So fun stuff if you ever get a chance to check that out. It's just another one of those venues that we don't get to a lot. But when somebody's there we want to see, we try to pop into it. It's close. It's not too far away for us. It's about 20 minutes or so. So not bad at all. So that kind of sums up our weekend, guys. And if there's anybody you saw play over the weekend, certainly would love to hear from you. And what do we got? Quentin saying, there's his guitar. Bought you for your 50th. Well, she done good. The wife did. She did. Yes. You said I had a lot of Van Halen, Ozzy, Metallica, Boston, Journey. Yeah, I wish I could have seen the rest of that. Would have been good. The band at Mr. Burroughs was Missing November, it's called. Missing November. And they're out of Hillsboro and Chillicothe area. Heidi sings lead. And yes, Bobby on the lead guitar. And they've been through a few drummers and bass players off and on. But band was good. And great stuff. Jamie saw 1330 Saturday at Trios. Love those guys too. And Rob, you're most welcome, man. I hope to see you again real soon. You guys are fantastic. And I know I'm going to work with Quentin on getting you on one of our Wednesday with the band so we can find out the background information and all that on you guys and find out how it all happened. Flatline, Swan, and Sweet Sister Mercy Saturday night at the Blue Note. Heidi got to see. That's a good one. Sweet Sister Mercy, by the way, guys, is the one who's done our All Around Town rockin' theme song. And we want to thank them and want to thank Mark Robinson for writing the lyrics to that. And thank you, Jim, for throwing that in. Yes. And that is their link. Thank you. Ladder Kicked My Ass on Facebook. Yes. And Diana, if you wanted to know about the stuff that the Whammies played, Mike's been nice enough to throw in some set list information here. So there you have it. I won't read them all, but some of them, like I said, Flock of Seagulls, David Bowie, Modern English, yeah, Poison, Huey Lewis, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Now, I don't hear many bands do that one, Relax, and you guys nailed that one, so thank you for that. And Jamie, they do, but again, they drove to get to Dayton an hour and 40 minutes the other direction from the Bell. So it'd be 2 hours. It'd be like a road trip for them to come to the Bell and the Bear. And website is also www.ladderkicksass.com. So check it out. Thank you, John Barry, for stealing my thunder at the end of the show as the mayor of Hamilton is on here. All right. Melissa Singer Reed from DV8. It's her birthday today, guys. Give her a big shout out on here. Tag her in it. Do something. Let her know we're talking about her. She's on vacation right now, but we love Melissa. You'll never find a nicer person or a better female front woman either. Wow. Melissa Singer-Reed from DV8. Yeah, Jamie, they're way up north, actually, and they don't normally even come as far south as me, but Quentin's been nice enough to send us his stuff. And certainly Quentin says they have hotels. Yeah, well, let me know if you want to come down here. We'll get you in there and get those boys from the Bell and the Bear to throw you up on stage for 3 or 4 songs or something for the jam night so they can see what you're all about. Mike says, need to see ladder. Yes. Yeah, Mike, Jim's vocals on those things were crazy good. They really were. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up today. We've gone long again, as always. But everybody's saying happy birthday to Melissa. Jim got to see Billy Rock Band, and they're going to be on the show, too. And Billy Rock Band and Crown Watts, like we said. Also Stagger Lee. Bunch of bands playing Autism Rocks 14 at on the 19th of February at Laurie's Roadhouse. I'm going to be one of the MCs for that event. Got like 7 bands all day long. All the Bengals players, Reds players will be there. A lot of celebrities. It's going to be a great time. Raised $70,000 last year for the Ken Anderson Alliance. Love to do more than that this year for sure. Jim says he likes road trips. Kevin Cooper stepping in at the end. We were talking crap about you earlier, Kevin. Actually, I was saying great things about your hosting of the jam at the Bell and the Bear. Sean Poole in the house. He'll be at Ralph's this Friday. Send me that one in Messenger, Sean. I'll get it on the list for Thursday for sure. Thank you. And yes, Melissa Summer Miller. Is that like Singer Reed? Or is it Melissa Summer Miller's birthday too? I don't know. Thanks for watching today, guys. Tomorrow, Hot Topic Tuesday. Watch for the topic to pop up in the morning. To be honest with you, Karis and I haven't even discussed it yet. Some of our best topics are when we pull it out of our you-know-what at the last minute. So we're going to have that on tomorrow live at 5 Wednesday. Peter, Ed Sawicki, and company and we're going to have a Grammy winner on the show on Wednesday at noon talking about the Cincinnati Blues experience. That'll be fun. I'm not even going to talk about the Grammys last night today. The only good thing on the Grammys last night, I will just for a minute, was the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and some of the people they had come up there were from my youth and so on. But the rest of that show, man, and well, a couple good things came out of it. Bonnie Raitt winning. That's cool. When you beat out Beyonce and people like that, Bonnie Raitt, that's cool. But that's a whole nother show. And yeah, what's happened over the years to the music shows and all the award shows just disappoints me greatly. It does. So trivia at Burroughs tomorrow night for me. Wednesday night at Bell and the Bear. Name that tune. 7 o'clock start time there. And Wednesday with the band featuring the Cincinnati Blues experience. Thursday live at 5 brings you the list of who's playing out. It's going to be live from the Bell and the Bear as well. Kicking off Autism Rocks for a 10-day kickoff. That's going on there that night. And yes, a televised industry party. Yes. Where everybody gets to kind of pat themselves on the back, don't they? It's kind of funny. Quentin, you do have to get down to the Bell. Come down with me one Thursday, man. We'll have a great time down there. You'll enjoy it. I'll introduce you to a bunch of great musicians out of Cincinnati. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, the high numbers are good. On Thursday, we're good. And we're getting a lot of views. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being with us today. And we're going to get out of here. We're going to play the entire Sweet Sister Mercy All Around Town theme. Going to throw it at you here. So if you haven't heard it yet, listen to it. It's Rockin' by Sweet Sister Mercy. And we'll see you tomorrow live at 5 with Karis right here and Hot Topic Tuesday. Bye for now, everybody.
Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man on there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So,
blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
It's the Weekend Review. It's a Bible coming for you. Speaking with the fans, sometimes they don't show well. Whatever, man. We're coming, who's playing out off the open jam with the Who's Who of talent. Come Friday night, ready to raise some hell. With all around, you know we're playing to do it well. So long around town radio show. Let's let go for the latest planned info. So around town radio show. For the music that comes from my soul. It's the high